everyone, this is Dr. Mandeep Saini again, and today we are going to talk about the part 2 of writing a high-end professional research report. And in part 2, we are going to talk about subject definition. Remember, in part 1, we talked about how to write an abstract, an introduction, or executive summary for your research project. So let's talk about how do you write the introduction. And for introduction, as we talked about in the other video, that you are going to do paraphrasing when you find the articles and you think that these articles are the relevant articles. So what you are going to do is you are going to read the article, you are going to do the coding, make the notes, and after making the notes, you are going to paraphrase, and after paraphrasing, you are going to cite, which is giving reference, and then you are going to check with the original article that everything is fine. You are giving the same view like the original author has given. So in the subject definition, for example, if you find different articles, so this is what you are going to do for each article. You are going to read the article, you are going to do the coding, make the notes, paraphrase, cite, and check. And in that, we are going to look at what, why, and how. So let's start with how you are going to do how you are going to write the introduction of your research. So in what? So first thing, when we are talking about the issue or problem or the introduction, so basically you are looking at the gap in the study or any issues you are finding. So for example, you find an issue of a lack of communication in construction processes. So you are going to briefly discuss the issue or the problem, and then you are going to give evidence from variety of sources. So variety of source means that a different type of sources such as the books, journal articles, maybe some government websites or some reports or white papers. So variety of sources are really good for when you are making an argument and when you are talking about what is the issue. Make sure that you use key studies in the subject area. So having key studies is really important. So key studies are the authors who have done a substantial research on the topic area, and maybe published some journal articles or the book's chapter or the book as well. Then you are going to cite all the source of information. Use relevant references from valid sources. So what are the valid sources? The valid sources are the sources which are legitimate. So that means that for the government websites, the sources which are journal paper, the books, please do not look for sources from Wikipedia or maybe some some of the blogs or some personal views that might not be very relevant. And after that, you are going to check the sources of information has equal distribution. So equal distribution means that, for example, you are talking about a contemporary issue, and when we talk about the contemporary issue or modern issue, then you should be looking for okay, this is the modern issue right now, so we are going to look at the references from last 3 years, not older than that. So as an example, if you are looking for references from 2015 to 2020, and you are going to take 2 references from each year, so that becomes the equal distribution from. So from each year, you are going to take at least 2 relevant studies arguments. So that need to be equal distributed. If you are taking only 3 years, again, as an example, you are taking 3 articles from each year. So it becomes 9 articles to make an argument. What is the issue? So that is what you are going to look into. Now let's look at why. When you're talking about a contemporary issue, as an example, then you will be talking about why this is a contemporary issue. And then again, you give evidence from the variety of source when you're talking about why this is a contemporary issue. Then you cite all the source of information. Again, the references will be from relevant sources and the valid sources. And again, you are going to look at the source of information has equal distribution. Now, on the third one, how, you are going to discuss briefly how it is related to construction project management. So, as an example, you are looking at research in, the lack of communication is the issue with the construction processes or construction project management. Then how the lack of communication is related with the construction project management. So you are explaining about how. So again, you are going to use the evidence from variety of sources. You are going to look at the relevant information from the valid sources, and you are going to look for references from maybe 2 years, 3 years, and give the equal distribution to those references. So when we are talking about the subject definition, when we are defining our subject, or we giving the background of the study, or we giving the background of the issue, then we are going to look into what is the issue, why do you think there is an issue, or that is a contemporary issue, and how it is related to construction project management, or how it is related to whatever subject area you are talking about. So that is the main thing you are going to do when you are writing a background of the study, or you are writing a subject definition. So I have made a checklist for you. So once you wrote the subject definition or background of the study, or the problem statement as well. So when you're writing all these things, then you can look at the checklist. For example, I have discussed briefly. So have you discussed everything briefly? I have used key studies in the area. I have paraphrased the ideas of others. And by the way, there is another video for paraphrasing, which will be available to you later on. And I have already mentioned, we talked about the paraphrasing to the students. So then you can look at, I have given evidence from variety of sources. I have cited all relevant sources of information, and the source of information is valid. The valid source, such as the government website, RICS, Office of National Statistics, or any other key authors. The source of information have equal distribution. So that is a checklist for you to, after writing that, you can use this checklist when you're writing literature review, when you're writing background of the study, when you're writing your research methodology, or any other chapters. So that list is not exhausted. It could be relevant for different type of writings. Then your if, three main things. Answer to the question is complete, it is concise, and it is coherent. So completeness is really important. Answer should be concise, and you can use the academic phrase bank to make your answer much better. And your discussion is coherent. So coherent means in a flow. Flow is really important for a reader. Otherwise, if it is not in flow, then the reader will put off, and they won't read it anymore. So flow is really important. And at the end, you check the grammar and the spelling. So that is a checklist. I think there could be more things in the checklist, but this is what I came up with so far. So next video, we are going to talk about the part 3, and that is about how to do the literature review when you find the articles, what is required, and how you're going to review the literature. So thank you very much for listening, and I will get back to you very soon with part 3. Thank you.